Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Errol Spence next opponent. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the channel donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now I'm back with Ego Rumor Mill, aka where I give you guys, just like the title suggests, a rumor. Nothing finalized, nothing official, but check the track record. Ego Rumor Mill, believe in that. It's been pretty efficient, I would say. Now Errol Spence, he doesn't have a confirmed venue or opponent choice, but from what I'm hearing is Errol Spence Jr. possibly versus Lamont Peterson or Luis Collazo. And they're saying at the end of the year. I think he was trying to come back initially around September, October after the KELL BROOK title shot and victory where he became a champion, but they weren't able to get that lined up and established by then. So now it's looking like top of the year next year in January or so, or December. Me personally, I hope it's in December because Errol Spence, I said this in the previous video, I don't want to see top level guys that I rate highly fight one time a year. Keith Thurman, he's fighting one time a year and he's injured and he just got married and stuff. Most likely he's not coming back. He's not coming back. Like I said, Keanu Reeves in Point Break, he's not coming back most likely until 2018. So I would like to see Errol Spence get another one in this year. And you look at his fight with KELL BROOK, he rated himself, he did his thing to me, but in the early goings, he felt he could probably be sharper, and that's apparent by his interviews and his post-fight interview, where he said that I graded myself, I forgot what he said, maybe a B- or C+ or whatever, and he was just basically saying, hey, I know I could have been sharper, I could have did better, and he kind of attributed to being off for 9 months, you know what I mean? So I don't want to see him have long layoffs and stuff in between. Now, new media. Another thing I gotta talk about is there's a catch with certain fighters like Errol Spence Jr. I would definitely put him in the class of like a Guillermo Rigondeaux. I'm not saying they fight alike, even though they're both southpaws and very skilled fighters, but more so what I'm talking about is I don't want to hear fans with these unrealistic claims like they always do with certain fighters when nobody seems to want to step up to the plate and be eager to fight this person, and somehow it gets flipped and twisted and that fighter ends up getting blamed. They did the same thing with Guillermo Rigondeaux, meaning people were leaving the division. Nonito Donaire didn't look like he wanted to rematch him. You had guys like Scott Quigg, Carl Frampton, Abner Matas, Leo Santa Cruz. Rigondeaux called for all of those fights and all of them left the division. Nobody stepped up to the plate and said, you know what, Rigondeaux, you easy work, you could get it next. You know what I'm saying? They just went on, and Carl Frampton fought Scott Quigg, and then later fought Leo Santa Cruz twice, and Leo Santa Cruz fought Abner Matas, and Abner Matas fought Jesus Cuellar, but nobody wanted to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux. And to this day, none of them still have fought him. And it looks like maybe Lomachenko might fight him, so props to him for that. But that's what they try to do. And they did it with Keith Thurman a little bit. Keith Thurman, when he was coming up and beating the Jan Zavics and different people like that, and he was looking very destructive, he was calling for all the fights, Mayweather, and obviously you got to work up to a Mayweather fight, so I understand that one, but he was calling for other prime fights, and he was having to fight Julio Diaz and Jesus Soto Caras, and now I think Errol Spence is in that same like kind of boogeyman in the division shoes, where you don't see people jumping up for joy to fight him. Like, I haven't really heard much from Danny Garcia trash talking. I seen Danny Garcia on Sean Porter when Sean Porter called him out. That might be a WBC eliminator that they established, right? But I don't really see people chomping at the bit like Errol Spence. That's the fight I want. He got the IBF strap. I mean, I thought that's what fighters want. You know what I mean? Like before, okay, you didn't want to fight Errol Spence because he didn't have a belt, but now he has a belt. One of the only floating around. Keith Thurman has 2 of the belts. Jeff Horn now has 1 belt, and then there's another one floating around in Texas somewhere, and Errol Spence has that. So you know what I mean? I'm not trying to hear nothing. I don't want to hear any gripes and complaints about Luis Collazo and he has losses. That motherfucker's actually tough, and he's coming off a good win versus Sammy Vasquez. He knocked him out, which is something Felix Diaz, who just fought Terrence Crawford, couldn't do, even though Felix Diaz did his thing, right? Collazo knocked him out. Collazo, if you look at his losses, okay, he clearly, I think I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think Mosley clearly beat him. But the Ricky Hatton and Andre Berto losses for Collazo were very questionable and like highly disputed. Keith Thurman, he probably hurt Keith Thurman more than Diego Chavez and more than Sean Porter. He had Keith Thurman running around the ring, like almost getting knocked down, maybe even knocked out. So Collazo's definitely, he's a spoiler. So I think that's a good fight. To me, I like that fight better than Lamont Peterson, but Peterson's a good fighter too. You know what I mean? So I don't personally have a problem with that. And we all know why it's not a unification, because again, not many people are calling for the Errol Spence challenge. You know what I mean? So I hate when the fans try to flip it on the fighter that's being avoided, and then give credit to other fighters like Triple G and Lomachenko and saying they're avoided. Listen, I'm gonna say this once, and I already said it once. I'm gonna say it again. New media. I think Triple G has been avoided in his career. I don't think Cotto wanted to fight him, for example. Obviously, Canelo didn't want to fight him last year. He wasn't ready or whatever. But you can't say he's the most avoided in boxing, because you still have a ton of people who are like down to fight him. Like even KELL BROOK. He's 2 divisions under Golovkin, and for whatever paycheck and whatever deal Eddie Hearn and K2 came up with, he was willing to move up 2 weight classes. I don't see that with Errol Spence. I don't see somebody 2 divisions under Guillermo Rigondeaux saying, hey, I'll move up like a Chocolatito. He's a good fighter. Why doesn't he move up 2 divisions and fight Rigondeaux at 122? You just don't see it. Same thing with Errol Spence at 147. I haven't heard one single solitary name from 135 call out Errol Spence. But KELL BROOK was willing to do it, even though he came up short versus Golovkin. Same thing with Lomachenko. Rigondeaux's talking about, I'll move up to 30, fuck it, to fight Lomachenko. So you don't really see that. You don't see anybody moving up 2 divisions saying that, hey, I want a rump, I want that Errol Spence fade. You barely see anyone in his own division calling him out. In fact, the only person that has called him out is Jeff Horn, who happens to be the safest. And the reason I say safest, somebody will be like, what do you mean safest? The reason I say safest is because he knows, at the end of the day, we all know that he's with Top Rank, and Bob Arum and Al Heyman have only recently mended their relationship, where Crawford's fighting John Molina and Felix Diaz, stuff like that. So we haven't seen a mega fight with Terrence Crawford and Adrian Broner or something. We haven't seen those types of partnerships that weren't mandated by the WBC or something. So Jeff Horn knows he's on the Top Rank side, and if Top Rank is not trying to put him in there with Errol Spence, and they're trying to build his profile, and they rather make some money off of the Pacquiao Horn rematch, then they're not going to do that. So he's a little bit safe. Yes, he called out Errol Spence Jr., but the logistics and the likelihood of him actually getting the fight is beyond just simply calling him out, because they're on 2 different playing fields. You know what I mean? Al Heyman has all these fighters on PBC. Jeff Horn's all the way, he just became a name by beating Pacquiao, and he's on the Top Rank Duco event side of things. And, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not 100% confident that they would even make that fight next, even though he called him out. So it's easy. It's like when kids fight at school, in high school, and then when the teachers or the principal comes out to break up the fight, and then someone's like rah rah rah, because they know the teachers have already intervened, the principal already intervened, so you could do all that extra. So I'm not saying Jeff Horn doesn't want to fight, absolutely, but again, he's in the safest position because he's not part of Al Heyman's stable. So you could call out someone and it sounds good on paper, but like I said, this is my new motto and my new mantra is show me. If Jeff Horn really and truly wants to fight, then he needs to get with his team and try to get that negotiated and say, I already beat Pacquiao. Pacquiao could wait. Let me unify with Errol Spence, and that'll make the Pacquiao fight bigger because it would be for 2 belts. But I don't see that happening. But we'll see. So it's looking like Luis Collazo versus Peterson. Again, my choice will be Collazo. I think that's the better barometer test, because we've seen Collazo play spoiler time and time again. Like I said, the Berto, Ricky Hatton, where he had them not looking good. And he had Keith Thurman, who has most belts at welterweight. He had him backtracking and running around the ring, badly hurt with the body shot. So 2 southpaws. I kind of want to see that to gauge, because I've seen a lot of Luis Collazo. He also thwarted Victor Ortiz, who was Dancing with the Stars. He came back from a 15-month layoff, and then, you know what I mean, Luis Collazo ended up stopping him early in second round or whatever it was. So I personally want to see Errol Spence versus Collazo more. And like I said, he's coming off the Sammy Vasquez knockout loss. He's in shape. He has the experience, veteran experience. So I want to see if he can push Errol Spence in any type of way. And like I said, I can gauge how Spence does with him versus Keith Thurman, and that lets me know something. But Peterson's not a bad option, and in both of the options, you can't really fault Errol Spence because he's already called for champions or former champions like Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. He's already called for those fights. He already called out Pacquiao. You know what I mean? And it doesn't seem like those guys are very eager to fight him. That's the latest Ego Rumor Mill. Let me know what you guys think, what you would rather see. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. Oh, and the other thing I got to say is another reason why I like Collazo over Peterson is because Peterson doesn't have as much experience at 47. He fought a catchweight at Danny Garcia. I think Felix Diaz might have been a catchweight, but I think David Avanesian is his only fight at the full 147, or at least with an elite or a ranked name, you know what I'm saying, that I can think of. Even though he, you know what I mean, he has the size to do it, he hasn't fought since February, and I was at that fight, and that was on the Broner Granados card. So that's another reason. Collazo has more of a body count, and he has more of a welterweight presence. So just my thoughts. Hopefully Errol Spence gets to fight. They're talking about Nassau Coliseum. I wanted to see him get a first title defense like they did with Deontay Wilder at home. I wanted to see him get one in Texas. I definitely will travel out to Texas for that, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. Ego Rumor Mill. Let me know your thoughts. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.